As always, we're going to go all the way to the bottom of our index HTML. And over here, what we're going to do is we're just going to say that this is going to be a filler section, right? I'm going to give it a kind of a, well, unnecessary name, let's say, or whatever. But over here, we're going to say this is going to be a section. Over here, we're going to give it ID, and we're going to say filler, right? And then we're going to say class, and over here we're going to say this is going to be a padding 5, right? So this is going to be a class that we're going to be using. And over here we're going to say this is going to be a class, and this is going to be a container class, and within a container class we're obviously going to place a row, div class row, and then we're going to say that we would want a align items center, right? So remember the flexbox property, align items center. And over here, we're just going to say this is going to be div with all columns, right? So div class, and over here, we're going to say columns, and we're going to say this is going to be spanning all across the screen. And over here, again, we're going to use this, use these properties that we just actually covered, right? So for medium screen, I would want it to be smaller, and I would want to be a margin, let's say over here, this MX auto, right? So for a horizontal margins to be auto, but also I would want a place a text in a center, right? So that's a little bit different than actual this whole div, right? So now that we have this one going, now we obviously need to place over here our text, right? And what we can do is we can go scroll all the way to the top, right? Because this is going to be the same one that we were using over here. So we can just copy this one, and we're just going to use one button, right? So we're going to go over here. I'm going to scroll all the way down again, right? And we're going to just copy this one over here. What we're going to do is we're going to change this one to, let's say, white, and we're just going to delete one button, right? So this is going to be one button. And now that we would need to place actually this image on the back, right? But we can do it actually very easy. And no, I don't want to save anything. And over here, if you go to main CSS, right? And now we have a filler. All I would need to do is like this. Basically, I want a filler added. Filler ID, and I just say filler, and now I can see that for my filler I right away have this background. Again, if I go back to index HTML over here, you can see that maybe one thing I would just delete this small and website, right? This is kind of out of the way. We delete that, and now we have this going, right? And again, this is going to be a let's say for 6, right? For 6 columns. Right. So again, if we just delete this, you can see what is happening, right? So if we're going to go for bigger screens, right? You can see that it's kind of going all over the place, right? And it doesn't look really good, right? But you always want to add this 6, and you can see that it's sitting much more nicer, right? And this MX auto is going to make sure that it's going to be sitting in the middle. And this was it for this section. Now we're going to create this project section, and we're just going to look at how we can play around with these margins to make look our sections to stand out a little bit. So let's get going.